When I say 7, y'all say days. Hunting for the cheese like a mouse in a maze. Been down all my life, mama thought it was a phase. Same OG, guess I'm stuck in my ways. Last night I had a dream.
Welcome to Neutral Voices. This is the place where your voice matters. And this is our live session where we laugh, inspire, vibe, and educate.
You educate.
Man, I got a feeling we're going to do some good educating tonight.
It looks
and
that
we're
way.
already starting, right? We got to get right into it. I have a mysterious person sitting next to me. Actually, this is all about home remedies. Y'all remember home remedies?
Absolutely.
Well, here's an intro into home remedies. See, I think you've been under there long enough. What has it been? About 10 minutes? Yeah. Okay, I think you can come out. And yeah, there you go.
Can you breathe?
Oh my goodness.
Can you breathe?
There's nothing like that steam, that hot. And you know what? I have to tell you. I don't know what y'all put in y'all water. But as for me in my house, I put peppermint essential oil in mine. And then I actually have some lemons cut up in there and some onions. And I mean, I just get it.
So you just trying to burn his nostrils off, huh?
No, you're detoxing and cleansing and all of that. And it opens up your sinus.
Right.
Yes, it does.
But you know, I'm just saying that's that old school home remedy.
Yeah, old school home
I'm
remedies.
telling you, you can ask my dad, my brother. I'm popping over there right now. I might throw a blanket on there.
Throw a blanket on there.
Yes.
Yeah,
so let's talk about some home remedies, y'all.
Oh man.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
You had your hot toddies.
Your hot toddies.
Your hot toddies. My uncle used to boil a root and make it a tea.
What?
And, yes.
Boil a root.
It's a certain root plant that he used to grow purposely every year on the side of his house. And he would boil it and make a tea. So if he was sick, you take a shot of that. It's coming out of every pore in your body.
Coming out of
Every hole in your body is coming out of it.
Okay, oozing.
I
Sound
think,
like
too,
you
a lot
sitting
of
in the
times
tub.
home remedies go back, generations. So if grandma did it, mom did it. I know in our family, my dad said that my grandpa swore by cod liver oil for everything. For ear infections. And they
Yes.
also use sweet oil
Yes.
for everything.
Yeah, for ear infections. My dad used to do that for ear infection. Sweet oil, he'd put it in your ear and cotton for
I was just getting ready to say, and I always thought they just dripping the oil in there, but I think they put it on.
Yeah, to
cotton,
keep it
sit
in with the
there.
cotton.
Yeah, it's so amazing. But don't y'all think some of this stuff worked?
Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm gonna give y'all an old one. My grandmother, she was a witch doctor. I believe.
Oh, you
My
get
grandmother.
ready to say
Oh
it.
man, I'm got one. Do y'all know about cow chip tea? How many of y'all know about cow chip tea?
That's
Like
kind of scary.
Cow?
Cow
Okay.
chip
I've
tea.
never heard of
It's
it.
You never heard of
manure.
cow
Never
chip?
heard of that.
It's cow manure.
Now, brace yourself because this ain't pretty. But as E said, they would go out in the field and find dried cow chips, which is cow manure. And they would take it. Seriously, this was a remedy.
Okay.
They would take it and they would boil it. They would sit it in like a basket and boil it under it, and the drippings would go.
The
with the water.
drippings dripping in the
and
water.
it would make a tea.
For
And they
what?
would put
I'd
some
rather
herbs
be
in it.
drink
sick.
the tea.
You would drink their tea.
Oh no!
What
Yeah.
kind of sickness are
No,
you trying to
what
get
kind
rid
I
of
don't know.
that's worse
I never
than
told my
What kind of
grandmother I
sickness
was
are you
sick
trying
when
to
she
cause?
I never told my grandmother I was sick.
Okay,
when I knew-
okay. The origin of the city, the state, the country. Where
It was in Alabama.
Oh wow,
Man, it was
That's
in
where my
Alabama.
family
You
from.
from town,
I'm glad that
Alabama,
didn't
wasn't it?
Uniontown,
glad that
Alabama.
didn't-
You know where it is.
I'm glad that didn't trickle down through our genes.
Yeah.
Since my parents were from
But, I
Alabama.
mean,
Google it. Y'all, it's still out there. I think people still believe in
Man.
it.
But see, if y'all think about it, think about this. Our grandparents had remedy because they didn't really take their kids to the doctor.
Right.
But they had everything to solve your ailments.
When you say that, I just want to know, was there a doctor nearby?
I mean,
Because
just-
you know what I'm saying? Sometimes the doctor was like miles and miles. You know
so
what
they
I
had
mean?
to come. They had to have a remedy to cure you.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm stuck on the cow manure. Has anybody else, other than me, never ever heard of this? Have you
Never,
guys ever
ever.
heard
It's
of
called
that?
cow chip tea.
Please leave
Cow
a comment.
manure.
We'd like to know.
And if you have tried it, what were you trying to get rid of that was worse than the cow tea?
But wait, or Jill, and what substitute would you use if you didn't have the cow? You know, that could get real
You got
nasty.
you got pig manure.
Anything might happen. But I just want to remind our guests, viewers, etc. Please leave a comment and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page as we're talking about health tonight with Neutral Voices. And so just thinking about some of the home remedies, I'll tell you, coming from my family, it was a Vicks rub situation and or castor oil.
Oh man, that's
yeah,
like the
so
worst
I-
thing in the
Bring
I
about
remember-
nightmares.
Uh-huh. And so, and then, I have to admit, I didn't really have any grandparents. So I kind of missed out on some of those real good, hard, old fashioned remedies.
I think castor oil was a punishment.
Man,
But
A lot
I
of these
don't.
sound like
I mean, I
punishment.
just try it because, you hear it all the time, castor oil for everything. You break your leg.
castor
You
oil.
just take a
Right.
couple spoons of castor
You
oil.
and walk it off, you be all right.
Take a nap, you wake up and you feel better.
Right,
You hear that. So, but yeah, so home remedies, but the truth is a lot of times you have to give it up because they had like the most, I'll say, natural fruit and herbs and the ground even because my parents talked about they used to could eat the dirt and it was sweet and sour dirt back in the day. So my point is, everything was so much better back then and didn't have all the chemicals. It
was pure.
I look at it like
pesticides
this.
and-
My grandmother is 90 years old. And she's still living after all,
See?
all the types of all kinds of remedies, and she raised 9 kids.
And you saying she uses probably still she uses those
not
home remedies.
not as much because
Yes.
she's older but
Right.
at the end of the day, if they could survive off of
Yeah.
home remedies,
lived a
We
long
could too.
time.
we
Also,
should be
we
able
should
to
be
do
able
the
to
same
as
as
But
well.
I just think things are so different because we have so many pollutants and different all those sides.
Yeah. And think about it. As he was saying, and there's still cultures like the American Indian culture. They use herbs, roots. Even some of the Africans that come, they still try to find herbs and roots, things that they have used that were holistic and not chemically manufactured.
Right.
And you got to think about it. We come from the earth, so a lot of the healings are of the earth. Before we came on air, somebody brought up the discussion of marijuana being a, a lot of people,
That's
a lot of
because
people.
a lot of people using it.
A lot of people,
now.
yes, say they use marijuana for medicinal purposes,
Yes.
from your vision to your pain to everything.
Yes.
So, and that's a natural thing. But the studies are in and out on that. But
The study,
Okay,
the studies.
are you open to it?
with everything else,
Are you
I've
open
never been
to-
a weed smoker. No.
Well, who said you had to smoke it? Can't you eat it?
They only make it in sweets. They don't make it in
I don't
anything
know.
else.
Yes, they
about
do.
that. I'm
They
sure
can
you
make
can
it.
find it if
Boy,
you want to
listen,
try it. They
I'm gonna
got-
tell you. You can make some herbal spaghetti.
See?
You can make.
You gonna kill me?
Trying
feed
to
me,
kill
or
him.
You trying
I forgot you can't eat tomatoes.
Okay,
you
but
you
the
can put it on
point
your
is-
chicken.
Okay.
Oh, you don't eat chicken.
Yep.
You put it on your
He wants
fish.
raisins. Put it in raisins.
You can put it in your
The
raisins.
point is, it's a herb.
Yeah,
It's an
And
herb.
you can actually sprinkle it wherever you want to if that's the
Sprinkle me,
case.
man.
and a lot
So,
of
Sprinkle me, man.
I just was wondering if you might
I
be
would-
open to it.
I wouldn't be opposed to it because I don't take any regular medication, so I wouldn't be opposed.
But
to
you
it.
know what? I mean, for me, think about it. You want to see, and they say it's good for glaucoma. I don't know if it is, but the
I need to
point
try
is,
it.
if it really works,
Right.
then it has a place in the
Right.
medicine cabinet.
Absolutely.
Well, it does.
But not to be abused, because then there's the other side of that, right?
Well, I mean-
but so he said, but he was
He
like,
sound like
I want some.
he
But-
sound like he in favor.
Okay, so just speaking of home remedies, before we get off of that, any home remedies that you try or you use right now faithfully, and I know most of you have children, so all of you.
I don't use a lot of home remedies, really, but the Amish community, who used to be my neighbors, basically, they are super holistic. So they are really into holistic medicine now. I mean, they don't shy away from the doctor if need be, but they taught me to cut an onion, put it in your sock. They
Save your body.
they use so many different aspects of medicine before they even venture into the doctor.
Okay, now did they tell you what that onion was going to do? Because I've heard that before from other people.
So, I mean, what they said was that the onion was supposed to soak.
That's right,
take-
absorb.
absorb everything. Yeah,
Yes.
that was
All the
toxic or
toxins,
that
yes.
was bad.
So you
right.
put
That's
the
what I
onion
heard.
in your sock,
Yes.
Yeah.
and then you put your sock on.
Yeah, when
Yes.
you sleep.
Go to
Wanna
sleep.
sleep?
With the
So when you
onion
sleep,
I'm
in
gonna
your
try
sock.
that.
Yep.
You're gonna be sleeping alone though. I'm gonna tell you that.
I'm gonna try that.
But that's
try
good,
that.
and I mean that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
This is hey, we're educating,
Right.
And that's why I wanted you to share that because I've heard that same thing and coming from a different culture. So it could work. We don't know,
Right.
But what harm is it going to do to try
Zero.
it? Zero. I personally, I do like, I call myself mixologist on the side. And I think it's because I have a love for chemistry and science and those things. So I like to mix things together
Drinks.
and see what happens. You see what I mean? But I was gonna say, so I know turmeric right
Turmeric
now
is good,
is
yeah.
very, very popular, and turmeric is good for like acne.
Yes.
And because that's been one of my battles, and you think, oh, that has nothing to do with health, but it does, because a lot of time, for me, if I had an acne flare up, then it's going to cause anxiety
Right.
for me. And anxiety is, that's heavyweight. And I'm
Right.
going to get into that and talk about how anxiety plays a part in this world, male and female, with people from day to day. But for me, I would try and mix up all kinds of different things. So I have mixed up the peroxide and baking soda and put it on, on my face, or toothpaste and baking soda mix, put it on. And so that's why it's great to live alone sometimes, because
'Cause you can
I may
experiment.
come in the house, I may come through there with toothpaste and some toilet paper.
Yeah.
I'm just saying home remedies,
Yeah, they
the
do.
tissue, sanitary.
You know
it's-
something? I'm
it's
gonna
all
tell you
good.
one thing that I know that works real good is black. Excuse me, is black soap.
Black soap.
Black soap. I love black soap.
You use black
I
soap.
get my black soap from the Health Hut.
Me too. I just got a big bar the other day.
Yay! And it's listen. Okay, plug for the Health Hut. Here it is,
Mr. Thomas.
Shout out, Health Hut. They have the largest bar of black soap. I cut my bar in half so it can
I got
last
one about
longer.
this thick.
So they're huge. But go check out the Health Hut. So I just want to throw that in there real quick.
But not only that, and we're in the frame before we leave about holistic medicine and things like that. A lot of people are now going to holistic medicine with the Health Hut and different things, and a lot of people are doing the different things like acupuncture is
Right.
becoming
Yes.
popular now.
Right.
I don't think I want
You
to
know,
stick needles in
herbists are more
I was-
popular now. Dr.
Yeah.
Sebi has books, and people have followed him and used his diet and different things. A lot of herbalists and things like that.
You know
So-
what that got to do with, I think, too? I think it has a lot to do with the integrative doctors that became specialists in 2014. So way back when, okay, they didn't want a doctor that was going to push holistic medication
Right.
and for you to be accountable for your
Right.
own healing
Right.
and believing and things like that. But the integrative doctors specialize in total body.
Right.
So that total person, mind, body, and spirit.
yes,
Right.
yes.
And so holding you accountable. So you're working with your doctor to
Right,
help
right,
heal your
right.
body. And
I'm-
part of that's believing. So
I'm glad you brought that up, because to bring up the Amish community again, they have basically replaced their family physician with a chiropractor. So
See.
to them, the chiropractor, if you have the flu, if you have a cold, their belief and the
That
chiropractor
that
is
alignment.
that, yes, absolutely,
I
that
know.
they are not aligned. So
That's it.
they swear by the chiropractor,
Yes.
and a lot of people have started to go, to the chiropractor for reasons other than just being sore.
now, you know what? Now, that's funny because we had not talked. So I've never heard anything about the Amish believing in that. But I was reading an article the other day, and it had something to do with your posture helping you feel better. So walking around and keeping a good posture, sometimes people say, V, you sitting straight up or whatever. But I practice that sometimes because I read that a long time ago. But then the other day I read it again. It was like confirmation, like, okay, check your posture. So you're saying that whole alignment piece, I just believe that there's something in that. And so we have to do better. And we do have to be accountable for our own healing sometimes,
Yes,
and just believing. Because if we go biblical, think about that. And a lot of
ain't had no
times in the
doctors.
Bible, what did he say? Your faith.
Yeah.
Has made you whole. And even when he was trying to work a miracle, he's like, if you don't believe, you got to get out of here. So, so when we start thinking holistic, and then go to the opposite, pharmaceuticals.
Yes.
And it's so much money to be made in that industry. So a lot of doctors are never going to speak holistic.
Right.
No,
Right.
no.
No.
Because there's nothing in it for them, like
It-
there is on the other side.
Yeah, it's a racket. I mean, now I believe that the pharmaceutical industry is very helpful to those that need that. But think about it. Some of the major medicines are astronomical in price. There are millions that go monthly, yearly without their medication, proper medication. They're finding a way to shave costs on medication, and some are just actually going without medication.
When you hear, have you ever heard of one medication costing $500?
Yeah.
Yes.
One.
I'm
month?
gonna tell you, I am a victim of that. I have a lot of allergies and food allergies. EpiPens, I used to get an EpiPen for somewhere between $40 to $100. Now EpiPens are somewhere between $400 and $600.
Wow.
And an EpiPen only costs what, $5 to $10 to make.
Right, but
Wow.
they raised the price like 2.5 years ago, and I'm a victim of it. I used to have an EpiPen. I don't have an EpiPen
Right.
now because I'm not going
You
to pay.
changed your
I
diet.
just gotta be careful of what I'm around. But think about people that need insulin, people that need EpiPens, even AIDS medication have increased astronomically. Most
Right.
AIDS medications have increased to like 70 or 80% than they cost back in 10 years ago.
Wow.
So these people are still fighting these battles, lifelong battles, but they can't afford these because the chemical. And then not only do you have the high prices, but those commercials that if you take this, you're gonna need a pill for
Oh,
this. You need a
man.
pill for
We
that.
should have
You
been
gotta-
able to run one of
See,
those
and,
down.
something, I was just having a conversation with a buddy of mine the other day. He called it a life sentence because the simple fact you take one medicine for your blood pressure, then it messes up your kidneys. So you got to take a kidney pill that messes up your heart. Now you got to take heart medicine that messes up your liver. And it's just like, it's an ongoing cycle.
Yeah.
And it's basically a life sentence.
Yes.
A death.
Wow.
It's slowly
I
killing you.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
agree.
And then you wonder why people don't want to. I mean, I'll put a prime example. A couple weeks ago, I went to the hospital, and I got my medicine. My medicine was $95 for four. It was 6 in one bottle, 10 in another, and 30 in another. $90-something dollars
Yeah.
just for that.
And you needed your medicine.
And I needed my medicine,
Right.
but at the end of the day, I didn't have health insurance at the time, so I had to pay out of pocket
Right.
to get this
And
medicine. It's just like something, and it goes like I was telling y'all, like I was saying, I was taking one medicine that made me feel like I was out of it. I mean, woke up like I didn't even know where I was at.
Wow.
And I'm sitting in my own bedroom, like, where am I?
Right.
So it's just like I'm not taking that no more because
Right.
simple fact,
Exactly.
if this is what it's going to make me feel, hey, I'll figure out a way to cure what I got going on.
Right.
Because the simple fact, you're not finna keep injecting me with cocktails, then make me feel like, okay, I got to rush to the doctor every
Right.
10 days.
And then if it don't work, who you mad at? Because they say clearly they're practicing medicine.
Yeah,
Practice.
you
You
actually
can practice
practice
it. You just
medicine.
read it, and now you can just
practice
Google it and just keep.
Yeah.
That didn't work. Let's try something else.
Yeah.
And you
And
bring up
that's
the
what they
side
do.
effects. The way it made you feel. A lot of times, the side effects are worse than whatever it is that you're trying to
Exactly.
get rid of. Look at the commercials that show 947 billion side effects if you take this.
Even death.
But it's going to get rid of your headache.
That's right.
Oh,
I'd
my-
rather have a headache.
My favorite one is the depression pill.
It may cause suicide.
It might cause
may
suicide.
Might cause
Okay,
suicidal
I'm taking it so I won't
Suicidal
be
thoughts.
depressed. Now I'm getting
Absolutely.
suicidal.
So we
Fine.
know we got a problem.
And you say
In the
practicing.
industry.
And it is a practice because you ever notice one medication come out and it says it's going to do something and now it does something different?
Yes.
Botox is one. Botox came out as a cosmetic, do
Okay.
wrinkles. Now they get Botox for, migraines and it's supposed to treat migraines.
Right.
Viagra.
Viagra was a heart
Heart
medicine.
medicine. Yep.
A heart medicine.
And they found out something.
The side effect was you was happy a long time.
The happy
That's
pill.
how that went down.
So when they found out you was happy, they decided to market it as a
happy
happy pill.
pill.
Wow, isn't that something?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of health, I mean, so we got a few other things that we want to get to, but I just want to real quick talk about, I mentioned the anxiety disorder. Have you ever thought about having a phobia as being an anxiety that can really cause a lot of health problems? You know what I mean?
I think phobias
You know,
can
if you
lead
think-
to an anxiety that's
right.
unhealthy.
And so it just in my research, 19 million adults experience a phobia. And and that's the number one anxiety disorder in
Yes,
America.
yes. And my phobia
And-
is connected to the medical industry.
Your phobia is?
Yes.
And your phobia is the needles.
I'm afraid of needles.
I know you say that all the time.
That's not a joke. That's
Yeah.
not a joke. I am totally afraid of needles.
Why are you afraid
Wow.
of needles, man? What did it do to you?
Man, I
Just-
just don't. It hurts.
What they do to you, he
Wow.
said.
And see, and so those are those type of phobias, and then there's the social anxiety.
Right.
And so just think about that. Some people they're afraid and they just panic
Mm-hmm.
being around people. And we talking about 15 million
Yes.
people. So 19 million, 15 million.
Well, I mean,
that's a lot of
kinda
people suffering
have
from
that,
anxiety.
You know, sometimes when I'm in a crowded room, I'm like,
Well, and
that's-
that's a valid point because being afraid of crowds and being afraid in public. This pandemic has created more social phobias than anything. I mean, because people don't want to touch anymore. More germaphobes have become,
Obsessive. Yep.
The distance, the people that don't want to go out, the people that don't want to be around people that's not vaccinated, and all of that. So that has caused anxiety, and right now in the time that we are, because those phobias have been exacerbated because people are now more people, and they sit at home, and they kept us at home for a whole good 2 months.
We got to figure out how to walk again.
Yeah,
some people
and
literally.
think about the people that went in with those phobias, and then they
Right.
kept watching the numbers
know.
and numbers
Yes.
and numbers grow on news. So their phobias now, I guarantee, coming out, there's going to be more mental health things going on, and people that just don't trust the medicine now.
Without a
and you
doubt.
mentioned mental
oh, there's
health.
going to be all kinds of
Listen,
mental health medicines coming
I was going
out.
to say, and without mental health, you can't have any health.
Right.
When you
Right.
think about it. Okay, so what about people that? And I'm guilty. You quick to tell somebody else to go to the doctor. You need to get this checked out. Go do this, and then you the last one
Yeah.
to call to make an appointment for yourself.
Absolutely.
I
So
don't go
I
to
mean,
doctors.
let me just hear from the parents on the panel.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. My daughter had a concussion, and I was quickly to take her to her appointments, and hey, we gotta get you to your appointment. We gotta get you to the doctor. And I almost had a stroke and didn't go.
See,
You know what I'm saying? It took to the point where I just couldn't take the headache no more.
wow.
And I'm the type of person, I don't get headaches.
Yes.
I mean, I don't get headaches at all. I was sitting in here and was like, man, my head hurting so bad where I couldn't
remember that
barely
night.
Yes.
see. And I went to the hospital. I was like, the doctor was like, you was about to have a stroke.
And we kept telling you and saying
you didn't
something
listen.
was-
We was
No, I didn't
telling-
listen.
We was
Wow.
telling.
And it's like I said, it took basically, hey, you about to pass out and die
Right.
before I get to the doctor.
And I'm glad you went.
And
Whatever
that's an
got you
awesome
there.
point. I mean, I know for me, when my daughter is sick, the minute I'm making a doctor's appointment, we're going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there. But then a couple years ago, I ended up with sepsis because I had an infection
Yeah.
that got so bad within my body and was
Yes.
walking around going to work with a fever of 104 that it
Wow.
spread throughout, and I was in septic shock.
Wow.
So
Jill.
as parents or as adults, period, we don't go with the first sign. We go with the last sign.
That's
we
right.
don't go with the yellow light. We
You're
go
right.
with the red light.
You're right.
And at our age, at any age,
I
that's
know.
dangerous.
It is dangerous. We got to do better.
Right. My doctor is the ER because I don't go to the doctor
That's
till I end up in
amazing.
the ER. I'm serious.
And-
I-
yeah.
I'm
Right.
dead serious. I'm almost dead before I go to the doctor. And I, end up in the ER.
I used to be like that, but we got to do better. So who do you think was worse, men or women?
Man, hands
Well,
down.
I was going to throw that out because it said 28% of U.S. men and 17% of women don't even have a doctor, period.
Right. But I also got that. But here's a problem too: that a lot of Americans don't trust doctors.
Doctors.
6 out of 10 black people say they don't trust doctors. 6 out of 10 black adults.
That's a lot of people.
And that's compared
6
to,
out of 10.
that's like 50%. They say 56% of adults overall really don't trust doctors.
But I was going to say, does it say what caused
I could tell
people
you that.
not to trust
I
them?
could tell you
Anything
that.
in particular other than that medical bill?
No,
I don't want to
it's
see
not-
it. I'm
it's not
still
even
playing
that.
the
You
last
said it.
one.
You said it. They're practicing. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't want to be
Okay.
that guinea pig,
Guinea
Right.
pig,
and they
yep.
they don't trust that process. So think about it. And like he was saying, and we said, they put you on one pill, see if that works. If that
Yeah.
don't work, that so
And
they don't believe. A lot of them don't believe in the process.
And see, one of my biggest things is when they say always go get a second opinion.
Yeah.
So if I need to get a second opinion on something that you said that's wrong with me, that means you don't trust your own self. So how can I trust you if you telling me, well, go get a second opinion and see what this doctor says? So now I got to go from this doctor
Right.
to this doctor.
Shouldn't y'all say the same thing?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
doctor might say,
Well,
no, that's not what's
E-
going on.
The truth is, like I told you the other day, some doctors, they graduated, they got their degree,
Right.
but they got a D.
Well, I mean, it's not
They
even,
got a D in class.
well, I mean, it's,
they just don't trust.
well, I mean,
they
that's
don't
just
trust
like
the process.
this. I know a lot of people go to they got their own doctor, and then their friend got the same thing, but go to another doctor, and then, oh girl, my doctor said this, and I got the same thing you got. Maybe you should try my doctor. Come on now, I mean, you jumping from one doctor to another doctor to
Right.
another doctor, when this doctor you going to don't know nothing about you.
Right.
Right, and that's not good.
And
go ahead.
also with that, where we're talking about, a lot of people, especially black people, don't trust doctors because they feel that they've been not treated fairly or not treated right.
Right.
You know, black women is the highest number. Black women, 37% of black women don't believe that their doctor is treating them correctly.
Now that's you talked to my sister today.
No, I haven't talked to you.
Okay. Well, she just shared a story, and I won't share it because since she's still there, I don't want them to
Yeah,
do something.
yeah,
abuse
37%.
it. But yeah,
of
you're
black women
right.
say that they don't believe that they say that their doctor doesn't listen to them, and the doctor doesn't,
Rush you.
Yeah, they don't spend the time. to
Everything's good.
understand
You
them.
look good. Everything feel good. It's all good.
So that's where that's why a lot of adults and we don't go to doctors
Right.
because we don't feel that we're being treated correctly at the doctor or the doctor's giving us the care that
I
we should.
agree.
I
with
think
that.
that's a good point. And a lot of times you could have an experience with one doctor, but that's going to set the tone for you. You know, your experiences completely set that. Other reasons, I mean, I will never miss an appointment, a doctor's appointment for my daughter. I will take off work, but I will miss 5 of mine in a row because I don't
'Cause you
want to
gotta
leave
work.
for 30 minutes
I
because
know,
I'm
you
at
just
work.
don't want to miss anything.
So
let,
it's
let
busy.
other
It's just-
people
right.
down.
Right.
Well,
That's
see,
what it
here's-
is.
here- And you know the funny part about me going to the doctor, going to the ER, instead of them recommending me a doctor, then that recommended me a nurse practitioner.
Sometimes they are better.
Yeah.
Because,
I know, but I mean I understand that, but if
but you needed a doctor.
yeah, I needed to see a doctor.
Yeah.
You tell well your next appointment with the nurse practitioner. Wait a minute, why am I meeting with a nurse practitioner when
I just had a
Right.
stroke.
Yeah.
yeah I need to be seeing
Yeah.
with a doctor.
Yes.
And it's just not now. It's just like, okay, I'm cool. I'll go get some herbal essence and call it a
Well,
day.
you know what? You know why I say that? I don't want to know what herbal essence.
That's
that
Okay,
self-medicated.
I was getting ready to say.
That's
Okay,
what you said
but
you need to be in the medicine cabinet.
exactly.
Yeah.
But what I was just getting ready to say is sometimes the nurse practitioners care a little bit more because they see how the doctors rush through and
And I
go from
understand
patient to
that.
patient. And so I have, I've met a few nurse practitioners that say, you know what, I got you. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do this. And they take more time and they listen. And so I'm saying, so sometimes you just got to trust God and it just might work out for the best.
I
You know what
trust
I'm
him.
saying?
I think society
he
sees
put the
a
best
nurse
thing on this earth.
Stop. Okay, he about to go there.
But he has a good view because I think a lot of people view a nurse practitioner as below a doctor. So when you've just had a
very
stroke
close.
and you feel like you need
The
to
balance.
talk
I
to
need
somebody,
to talk to see what's really
you
going
want
on.
to talk to a doctor.
I need to talk
Yeah.
to the head man.
But you know what? So, because we can go through this and we got a couple more minutes. But I just want to say, what can we do right away, right now, right today to help ourselves be healthy? And, everybody has their story. But one of the things that's very simple that I've been studying in the school system, actually, they have some things coming down the pipe that we're going to be teaching our students. I've already started, didn't know it was going to happen, but it is. But it's just something simple as taking 10 minutes to breathe, to concentrate and focus on your breathing. Some people say meditation. That's awesome. But the point is to check your breathing throughout your day because that has a lot to do with even you starting to feel an anxiety type of situation or feeling overwhelmed. It's because your breathing is not right. So that's one thing we can do. All of us, no matter the age, we can start right now is checking our breathing. So 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes if you can take 10 in the afternoon and in the evening.
I agree
as
with
you're
that fully.
relaxing.
I have actually trained myself to do that because
Okay.
not only everything that you just said, but for me, what helps me is I don't slow down. I never stop. I'm a spaz. I go, go, go.
Yes.
So that time for me just allows me to focus and chill out
Yes.
and recharge.
That's it.
Because I never stop.
That's right.
Also, I mean, it's a good time if you have things to think about, like your health or your appointments, to just focus on, have quiet time and focus on
Yes.
what's important.
And Jill, you said recharge, and that's what I mean. Sometimes you do have to hit that reset because think about it. Even your computer sometimes is running hot and it's been doing too much, it's overworked. And what do you have to do?
reset
You
it.
have to shut it off for a minute, or your phone. You have to shut it down for a second, and then you reboot it, and it comes back strong, and sometimes even stronger.
Sometimes
Actually,
you just
I'm gonna
need a
tell you
reboot.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you one thing I found out: sleep.
sleep. That's the other one. So that's what I'm saying.
Sleep.
Awesome.
Sometimes you just gotta go ahead and go
Get your
to
J Lo
sleep.
on. Get your
Because
J Lo.
I mean, I know when I was going through that, I was barely getting 3 or 4 hours because I get up and start reading and
No.
do something.
Yes.
And now, hey,
I'm
That's
I'm
why I
down at
say-
10:30. Leave me alone.
You right. And you know what?
Leave
You
me
gotta know
alone.
what you need.
Right.
And so other people telling you to get up and telling you to lay down, you gotta know what you need and what's best for you. And so like J Lo said, if she can't get 11 hours of sleep, it ain't gonna be a good day.
People really sleep 11 hours?
Yeah,
Man,
so I'm
if I get
saying,
5,
you
I'm
know,
good.
so that's when I
Wait a
tell
minute,
people
that's
I need
too
to get
much
my
now.
J Lo on. I need you to leave me alone. And that, to me, it won't ever be 11. But if I get 7, I'm good.
But also, a very simple thing is monitor what we put in our bodies, what we eat and what we drink.
That
We need
sugar,
to-
man.
Yeah, sugar.
Woo.
If you can't eliminate sugar. If you can
I
eliminate
know.
sugar.
Just because you don't
eliminate
eat sweets, don't tell
sugar.
everybody
I'm
else
just
stop
telling you.
eating sweets.
But you right.
Oh, right.
Because it be messing your teeth up.
and drink water. Drink water.
There it
and
is.
and also what you
Plenty of
eat.
that.
Eat more vegetables. A lot of us don't eat vegetables. A lot of us.
What's your go-to vegetable?
Mine broccoli.
I had boiled cauliflower for dinner. I love it.
E?
Broccoli.
Broccoli. Mine is green beans and there's no nutrients.
Yeah.
I'm just
They're
saying.
empty.
Or, you
They're
know-
I
empty
know.
beans.
I know.
Or, you know,
Or the
or some
salad,
raw
there's no
carrots.
nutrients in the lettuce.
Yeah.
Give me some raw carrots. I'm good.
I got to do better with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
You're
if we
right.
change these patterns, like you said, you take the time to reset, you get some sleep, and we drink and eat
Yeah.
properly, it'll expand
Yeah.
our lives.
Yeah.
Like-
Do we have because and that's awesome. I'm glad we all shared a point. What about some resources in our community? A young lady comes to my mind. All I can say, you can Facebook her, and that's Yolanda Naylor. She's a beast when it comes to nutrition and all of that.
Really?
She wrote a book, and I was going to bring it, and maybe I'll find it and bring it to Marl. But yeah, what resources do you guys have, or that would you recommend for people in the community that want to be more health conscious?
I would say, if you can't afford medication, you can always call 211, or you can go to Wayne Township. They do help with medication. And then there's Matthew 25 in the neighborhood health clinic that will treat you at a sliding scale rate that if you can't afford,
Yes.
the doctors and everything, they treat you. So those are some options that you can go to.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that number for Matthew 25 is 260-426-3250. And the Neighborhood Health Clinic, 260-458-2641. And like Clarence said, 211, if you call them, they'll always, put you in the right direction.
Yep. And thank you for that. And I just want to say real quick, we got some viewers watching. I don't know if you guys leaving comments, etc. This is Neutral Voices. We want to say what's happening to Bill and Dexter.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Y'all know
Everybody
Bill and
else?
Dexter?
Yes, Bill and Dexter.
Okay,
Bill is our
that's
faithful
family.
audience.
Dexter.
Yeah,
Sir.
they've
Yes.
been with us since we started.
I was gonna say.
We appreciate y'all.
Have you guys had the tea? What's it called, Clarence?
Wait a minute, Bill got to watch those sliders.
Yeah.
Now we've been talking about them sliders because White Castle will get you.
Yeah.
Ew.
Now,
Ew.
Yeah. But before we go, Doc V, and Jill get to hers, there's one thing that I don't want to be remiss to say. And we were talking about men not going to the doctor. But
Oh.
men. And it's
They
not
scared.
But because I'm gonna tell you why. There's one unpleasurable experience, but
No,
we
no.
need this because a lot of us are dying from ignorance or not knowing. Please, it's not fun, it's not pleasurable, but get your colon and your prostate checked because that cancer is killing a lot
Can
of
they
men
just
right now.
X-ray
so
it?
right.
I wish
X-ray
they
it?
could, man.
'Cause,
I wish
mean,
I had time to tell a story. I'll
I'm
tell a
glad
story
he doesn't
later.
have time to tell the
because,
story.
you know,
Tell the story later.
Don't tell it.
I know
We'll be
when I
back
go
tomorrow. You
back to
got
the
time.
doctor, I know I was told I got to go get the no hole check,
Yeah.
and
And
I might be sick.
I don't even know.
I'm sick that day.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sick that
He
day
didn't.
too.
He didn't.
I'm sick that
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sick that day.
This is Neutral Voices.
no,
It's been a real night.
Yeah, it's been a real night.
Wow.
First cow. What was it? Cow
Chip tea.
chip tea, and now this.
no hole.
I think I want to see what Jill got for us. I bet she got something better than that.
After that comment, I just wanted to put out a disclaimer that we are not health or no hole professionals.
Sure, like,
So this is just simply
no.
our opinion and their advice.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
individual advice.
Close it
I'm
out
just
with
saying.
Please,
Clearance.
Jill.
Okay. All right.
Jill,
Thank
for
you.
a health spill, can you help us out?
I'm gonna close it out with some normalcy.
Okay, thank you. We can use it.
Loving others comes with ease. It comes first. Loving ourselves fiercely and freely isn't always easy, and in fact, is often put last. You are an investment. Your health is an investment. We often invest so much into others that make up our village, our home, that we forget to remind ourselves that I am the walls of my home. If I am not solid as a foundation, how do I build upon that to care for others? You cannot pour from an empty cup. God took his time when he made us, so we must take the time to preserve the very body and soul that was crafted to not only love those around us, but to love and care for ourselves.
Wow. And amen to
Amen.
that.
Amen.
We got to take the time.
Hallelujah.
And that's one of the things we always say. We don't have time. We got to make time. Thank you. This is Neutral Voices, and thanks for hanging out with us. And hopefully you'll join us tomorrow for The Voice of the People. That's where your voice is a part of this platform.
Yes,
We need to see you
Your
there.
voice matters.
Thanks. See you next time.
When I say 7, y'all say days. Hunting for the cheese like a mouse in a maze. Been down all my life, mama thought it was a phase. Same OG, guess I'm stuck in my ways. Last night I had a dream.